What's good, YouTube, and welcome to another KaibaHacksDartz Yu-Gi-Oh video. This is part 8 in our Remaking Dungeon Dice Monster series. I figured we'd kind of come back and look at something I had mentioned in one of the previous videos, and that is the items. Now, we'll start just by looking at the items that I believe are in the game. I think there is only 5. If I'm wrong, please correct me. As far as from the research of at least the physical card game, the items are pretty slim and are kind of wacky. So we'll kind of go through them and look at them. We got the Gluminizer. This one's probably my favorite, but the wackiest. And it is a level 2 item. When this item is dimensioned, activated immediately. And for the rest of this game, all monsters in the dungeon require twice as many movement crests to move. So that can affect the flying monsters too. You know, it's going to be kind of wacky if you threw this down. If you want longer games, this is kind of what you hit. Now, I'm not sure how it works in terms of stacking, because if both you and your opponent had one, I don't know the rulings on that. So feel free to let me know. I'm not 100%. Also, if you want to know how to make the cards like I've shown, it was in one of our previous Dungeon Dice Monster remaking videos. Link in the description to the playlist, so you can see how we made these. The Medical Aid Kit, level 2. When a monster passes through this, the monster's controller may remove 2 damage markers, 20 points of damage from their monster, and the item is destroyed. So it's just a little quick healer. Like I said, a lot of these are kind of inherently not too useful. Like we got Trap Bandit here, which I love his art, but go ahead and check that out, like the actual art colored, because it looks a lot wackier. You can see it's kind of weird. It's a level 1 trap. When a monster passes through this item, 1 trap crest is destroyed from the crest counter of the monster's controller, and the item's destroyed. So it just destroys 1 trap crest, you know what I mean? It's kind of inherently useless, and it could be filled with something else, but I figured get all 5 items done because it's just easy, and then I can kind of work through some other stuff like all warriors, or maybe all level 1s, or whatever area I decide to take through in trying to maybe make every single Dungeon Dice Monster card and piece once again. We got the Energy Disc. When a monster passes through this item, the monster must stop on the item for that turn, and the monster gains 20 extra attack power points permanently, and the item is destroyed. This one's kind of cool. Like I said, inherently you could probably have another monster that could do something similar or just boost attack temporarily. It's kind of, it could be useful. And then we got the Exploding Disc, level 3. When a monster passes through this item, it receives 2 damage markers, 20 points of damage, and the item's destroyed. So, those are the items, as far as I believe, the only 5 items in the actual physical Dungeon Dice Monster game. Now we'll talk about what we use to represent them. And if you haven't seen how to make these figurines for the game, minifigs, whatever you want to call them, I do have another video, like I said, Remaking Dungeon Dice Monster playlist, link in the description. And you can use a lot of different things for these. The card art can be very vast. You could even draw your own card art if you really wanted to, of just a treasure chest or something. But I figure, since we have the ability to customize a bit more, we might as well switch it up. So I figure you could have a couple of these if you're going to use items for maybe yours. And then if you have maybe a second set for someone else to play, you could make it something else, like, you know, Dark Mimics, level 1, level 3 Dark Mimic, you know, maybe a gold sarcophagus. You know, there's a lot of ways you could take it, get creative with just whatever thing you use to represent your item on the board. Obviously, you could kind of have different ones, but I figure since they don't really know what the item is until they hit it, you know, it's going to be face down, you just know an item's there. You're not going to be representing it with the same one, because then next game they know, okay, if you only have one mimicking, man-eating treasure chest, sorry, he's, you know, this card. So you'd probably want to have a couple if you are running a couple different traps in your deck, which, like I said, I don't know if is the best inherently, or items, I guess, not traps. But, overall, like I said, I think this encompasses pretty well what you need for them, because, like I said, I think it was just good to run through the 5 traps. Like I said, if there is more, let me know. Make sure to check out the other videos in the playlist, but we do have a little bonus. I have seen that we could maybe start coloring in some of the cards. Depending on different stuff, I would maybe do something different. What I've done is just used highlighter for this one, but I'm trying out different stuff. We probably have a future video on how well it works. But I figure either coloring in a certain area or marking it, you know, you could do different things. If you do have a black and white one, I recommend going the cheaper way and just making them black and white. But what you could do is do what I've done, do the border on this one, just as an example. Or you could just have a little square in the corner that's blue. When you're making say if you're making the custom area like I did, you could just have a little square in there. But what I've done is to preferably have them represented by their color like the Japanese ones are. So maybe have warriors all be blue, and all your traps you could maybe leave black, since there's so little of them. And then, you know, your dragons, make them whatever color, green or red, or I think beasts are green. But, you know, stuff like that, you could make it as close to the color as actual Dungeon Dice Monster cards, or make your own custom stuff, but, you know, keep them all in the same area, so that way you can tell. You could also maybe just have two squares, one that just, you know, if it's this color, you know it's level, this one, you know it's type, you know what I mean? Even though it says it on the card, it's just a quick, oh, okay, green, he's, bam, level 2 or something, you know? You can represent different things with little bits of color. You don't have to fully color in the card, but I figured this was just an example to show off. Otherwise, like I said in the last video that we were going to do in this video, we will have a video encompassing, showing off everything we've kind of done, so then you can go back and look through the videos on how we made it, and then hopefully some actual Dungeon Dice duels. But so far, we're just working at the little kinks, making sure we got everything perfect, and trying to get 2 full starter sets, plus maybe some more, so we can do some other content and stuff like that. But there's lots of ideas coming in the future, and if you have any ideas to change different stuff in the playlist, you know, different better upgrades, let me know. And of course, we do want to take it to the next step and start maybe 3D printing some of the stuff, like dice and dungeon tiles, maybe the bases for the minifigs and such. Who knows where we can go with it. Lots of ways to upgrade it. So like I said, make sure to check out the other videos in the Dungeon Dice Monsters playlist, link in the description, as well as the link to our Discord, the KaibaHacksDartz Discord with the boys. You know, you can check that out. Lots of different discussions going on there about Yu-Gi-Oh! You know, Dungeon Dice Monsters, remote duels, stuff like that. So, like I said, make sure to check it out. Otherwise, check out my other content, Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profiles. We did do a Dungeon Dice Monsters Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck, because there is some crossover there. So make sure to check that out as well. And otherwise, thanks for watching. Peace.